And a belated good evening. Welcome to the local sports pod. Apologies on a few minutes later start time. JV game, field hockey finishing up. We wanted to take it on such a nice night here in Hazleton. It's about 70 degrees. You can't ask for a nicer way to start the week with a Monday if we only had the moon. But here we are. We're going to quickly move through this. It was a tough one Friday night. Coach and I will get into that in a few minutes. You just got to take it and move on. I know we've said this 1,000 times, it seems, but we're only in week 4. Again, a team is not signified by a game, nor is a season. Again, we just move on with it. And here we go in the pod quickly before we get into it with Coach. I want to thank our season sponsors, R.L. Marchetti Plumbing and Heating here in Hazleton, Alta Pizzeria and Pasta House here in Hazleton as well. Our game week sponsor, again, the Performing Arts Center down in Sugarloaf in the Cunningham Valley. Our player of the game sponsor, Barbush Automotive, BLB Auto Sales, and our on the bench segment sponsor, Furrell's Funeral Service Incorporated. It is always great to get together with my good friend, the coach. Here we are, my friend. Moving on. We got to talk about it. Berwick, hype was in the air. It was patriotic night, the skydivers, and everything seemed right. Let's just talk about it.
It started off right. We started off on the right foot. We scored in the first 5 plays. We went right down the field. We got the ball first. We marched right down the field. Everything that we wanted to work was working. We go right down. We score. And here we go. We're ready to go. Then, Berwick gets the ball. They put a nice drive together. They go down the field and score. And same thing that we talked about last week. I said to our kids, it was going to be 4 quarters. It was going to be a war, going back and forth. And that's what we were getting right off the bat. And then, we exchanged punts. They punted. We got the ball, put together a nice drive. Decided we got into their territory. We decided to go for it on 4th down. Didn't get it. And that seemed to take the air out of our team a little bit because the very next play, 60-yard touchdown in the other direction.
Right.
That really hurt. And it, with our team and what we talked about, the game just kind of got away from us then. And then, they scored. It was 21-6 at halftime.
Fairly close yet, though.
Still close. Yeah, still close. Still in it. We come out in the second half. We go out on defense, and we knew, we had the ball first, so we knew we needed a big stop. We get a big stop. They end up going for a fake punt, get a play, just kind of the backbreaker. They got a play, busted a coverage, score a touchdown on a fake punt. And then it just rolled from there. It just rolled from there. And what I said to the team after the game was, win or lose, I'm okay with it. I didn't like how we got so down on ourselves, and it just seemed like we just quit.
Not this team.
No. And we just quit. And we went over that tonight. We went over that in film. We talked to our players. We talked about it. In all of our games that we've had so far, we did not quit. We quit Friday night. And Berwick just ran away with it. Their running back was everything that he was hyped up to be. He was coming in 3 games at 590 yards rushing. He ended up rushing for 290 against us and 4 touchdowns. Not something you want to be the team doing that.
Right.
You don't want that happening to you. But we can't just put it on our defense because we didn't really do much on offense either. We had a couple drives put together, but we started reeling then. And, just another learning experience in this season. Learning experience for the players, learning experience for the coaches, just moving forward. And Berwick was due. They said this is their revenge tour this year. And, they have a really good team this year. And they're gonna do well. It kind of goes back to what we talked about. We think our pass defense is pretty good. They didn't have 1 completion against us on Friday night. Now, they didn't have to throw the ball much when you're rushing for 290 yards.
Right.
But, it's something that we we're proud of. We're proud of doing that. The only pass completion they had was the fake punt. So we're learning and kind of going through the growing pains here, and told our team tonight, it's decision time now. What are you going to decide? We're 1-3. What do you want to do? And it's hard to say.
It's not over. Far from being
no,
over.
It's definitely not over. But it's decision time now,
right?
Where we got to decide what we want to do.
Absolutely.
What do you want the rest of this season to look like? What do you want this team to look like moving forward? And you take the season, and do you want to quit on it, or do we want to move forward? And I got a lot of guys that are ready to go, and we're ready to go for Friday night.
Yeah, you mentioned about just flat out quitting. Being around this and being on the sidelines for a good bunch of it here in the first couple of weeks, it's just not our guys to do so.
No, they got down on themselves too quick, and they have to learn how to counter adversity. And those things happen. A sudden change, we get a fourth down, or we get a stop, or there's a turnover. We got to be able to come out. We work that in practice. We work sudden change. You got to be able to come out, shift the field, get yourself in the mindset of being on defense now, and then come out and shut them down. We let everybody left. We got blocked, and boom, they went for 60 yards, and that was a turning point in the game. That took
let out of balloon, so to speak.
Absolutely, yeah. Took the air right out of this whole stadium.
Right. The running game seemed to be on point to start.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhat carried through for better part of 3 quarters. And like we mentioned, things on defense just kind of got spoiled up there a little bit with the turnover and such. But that running game seems really consistent.
Yeah.
Not a bit of a beat loss.
Yes, no, we were running the ball well. But when you get down, you got to throw.
Right. We've spoken about this before.
Freddie Corrado had one of his best games so far.
Absolutely.
His points, his passes were on point.
Mm-hmm.
First drive, boom, we get a 30-yard touchdown pass. Him to Logan Gennaro. Logan made a great move and took it to the house. So it got us hyped, and we were ready to go right out of the gate. Later on in the game, Freddie had a beautiful pass to Jose Lopez. Jose went up and got it, and I mean, it seemed that things were gelling and things were moving.
Right.
So
defensive line hung in there again, most part. I mean, even they can't really defense a line on a 60-yard bomb.
Yeah.
And even though the running back took for 200 plus some odd yards, they seem to hold their own.
Yeah. They and the guy that we're going to bring on tonight, he told us at halftime, Coach, they can't block me, and they ran away from him all night. He had 9 tackles in the game, so we're going to bring Joel on here, and he had 9 tackles, and for a defensive lineman to have 9 tackles in a game when they were visibly running away from him,
right?
And
scary.
He was on, and he's been a leader of our defense all year, and we're going to give him his spotlight tonight.
Oh, absolutely. We talked about it. You mentioned Freddie as well. We're going to talk about him a little bit. Unfortunately, he can't join us tonight, but we're going to speak with him as well, and we'll quickly touch on the O-line, who were features last week. I mean, even given it was a lot of outside yardage for Berwick's running back. I mean, the line seemed to hold strong.
Mm-hmm. No, we definitely did.
But again, like we said, a loss like this, again, it doesn't define a team. It doesn't define a season. And at 1-3, there's a long way to go yet.
Oh, absolutely. We still have 6 games to go.
Right. And it's hard to believe. It seems like we're about 8 months into this.
Here's the crazy part, too.
Here we are.
We haven't had a conference game yet.
Exactly.
We have 4 games,
scary.
and we haven't had a conference game yet.
I know, right?
Now we're going to get into our conference, and these games are. Well,
important. These are the games that count. It's and it will start to define a season soon. But I mean, it's where it's at. It's what the season becomes, and things are going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
We've discussed it so many times, but
I believe in our kids.
Absolutely,
they're ready to go. We take these learning experiences, and we make ourselves better. And every game has been a challenge so far. You go from last week where you win 40-0 and you're the highs of the highs, and then you get 40 points put on you, and you're at a low of the lows.
And you're up and you're down, and I'll go back to that social media post that was actually on the Hazleton area football Facebook. These L's don't count as losses, and you defined it all the way up the field. Learning experiences are definitely where it's at. And they're only going to mature week by week. So, I mean, and that's what you got to take it week by week. Yes, it's looking ahead, obviously, for them not to quit much like they supposedly did on Friday. But I believe more in our kids than that.
Yeah.
That there's a lot more heart, there's a lot more grit, there's a lot more mental strength.
It's just, it's that feeling of unraveling. And it felt like everything was unraveling around us. And we were just kind of watching it happen. And that's part of learning. And I told him after the game, this could be in a game, it could be in life. You're going to be faced with adversity
absolutely
your whole life. And are you going to internalize it? And are you going to shrink, or are you going to step up to the moment? And those are big things and big challenges that our kids got to learn from. And moving forward, it's going to make them a better football player. It's going to make them a better person. It's just going to it teaches you so much about life. Because life is not easy.
No, hell no.
Nope.
We all can attest to it at one point in time,
Yep.
And you never know what a person's going through. It can be all smiles, it can be all great, but I believe inside for how somber our boys looked on Friday night, I think just seeing them come out of the den this evening, it's upbeat. It's upbeat. And with being on the road now, especially in the next 2 weeks, and we'll get into that stuff when we hit our second half here, it kind of makes it a little harder too.
Well, that's a good thing about playing every week. We start preparing for this week. You go into the game on Friday, and this game that we just passed, it's over.
Right.
And you move on to the next week, and you could make it better.
1-3 can be 3-3 real easy.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
So well, there you have it. There's a story on the who's and what's not and who's nots on the Berwick game, and we're just gonna put that away for a while. Want to get into our player of the game. Player of the game this week, and as always for the season, brought to you by Barbush Automotive, BLB Auto Sales. We do it all. Just call. Since 1937, serving our area. Barbush Automotive, BLB Auto Sales, located at 1299 PA State Route 940 over Harley, Hazel Township. Barbush Automotive, all your repair needs, emergency-wise or schedule, give Brian and his staff a call, 570-454-7571 to take care of all your repair needs. BLB Auto Sales, located on the same premises as Barbush Automotive. You can check out their inventory in person or also online at www.barbushauto.com, or give them a call, 570-861-8393. Our good friends, Barbush Automotive, BLB Auto Sales. They bring us our player of the game or players of the game every week, and we have one of the two with us this week. I'm going to let Coach talk about it while I grab the award here. One of the big men on defense, our good friend Joel Vasquez, is with us. Coach, give him the story on the game while I step out, and then we'll talk to Joel.
So I'll give you a little background on Joel. So I came in, I got hired. Joel was doing track. Okay. So Joel said, he was at track, and then football time comes around. Joel wasn't here. So I called Joel. I said, where are you? Oh, Coach, I'm not sure if I'm going to play.
Oh, no.
So we talked to him, got him to come back out, and thank God we did. Okay? Because he's the heart and soul of our defense. He's been there every game so far, just as a game wrecker, but it really showed Friday night against Berwick, who has, a senior heavy offensive line, Division I type running back, and they ran the ball away from this guy all night long.
Yeah, you mentioned on the way down the field.
They could not handle
exactly did you say when you came over the sidelines?
Yeah.
I noticed that they were just running the ball to the opposite side, and then whenever I would switch to that side, they were running the ball to the other side. So I told Coach, they're scared of me. They don't want anything of me. So
I'm scared of them, and we're just standing here. So.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, they ran the ball away from him. He had 9 tackles in the game.
Insane.
Yeah, I mean, just the guy who was flying all over the field, wreaking havoc all over. And we're happy he's on our defense and we don't have to run at him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But he's our player of the game this week. He could have been the player of the game every week so far. But this week, after we went in the locker room and he said, Coach, they cannot block me. And then when we went back and we watched the film and saw him flying around all over the field, making play after play, it was only right. He's the defensive player of the game this week.
Joel, congratulations. Barbush Automotive BLB Auto Sales Defensive Player of the Game. What do you have to say for yourself? Besides, Coach, they're scared of me.
I appreciate it. It's a big opportunity, and I'll definitely not take it to granted. And next week, and the weeks after that, I'm going to keep up the same intensity, 100%.
Flying all over the field, as Coach said. Congratulations, my friend. Coach, also offensive player of the week, Freddie Corrado,
yes.
QB1. He could not make it tonight due to another engagement, personal. So give us a little rundown on him.
Freddie had probably his best game of the year so far. I think he was 8 for 13, 120 yards passing. Finally got the monkey off of our back and got a touchdown. We'll bring Freddie on next week,
right? And
we'll present his award so he could be able to say some words next week. But yeah, he had a heck of a game, leading our offense and definitely a big threat going down the field.
And congratulations to Freddie and Joel, once again, our players of the game. Thanks to Barbush Automotive and BLB Auto Sales every week. Guys, thanks so much. Good luck this week, my friend. You aren't going anywhere but to get hydrated. So I will see you in a few minutes. Take this with me. And I'll begin to tell you guys a little bit about our sponsors, as we do every week at this point. And special thanks goes out to our season sponsors, our good friends, R.L. Marchetti Plumbing and Heating, our good friend Randy Marchetti, serving the Hazleton area for over 110 years. Emergency service or anytime service, whether it's emergency or scheduled, 24/7 within a reasonable amount of time once they get the call. Please give Randy and staff at RL Marchetti Plumbing and Heating 570-455-7335. A big thanks to my good friend Randy. Also want to thank our other season sponsor, Alta Pizzeria and Pasta House. They are located just up here in the Heights, up on Popular Street. Since 1992, the Chirico family, Neil, Renee, Dante, of course, running the whole show now. He is the man on the scene. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen their graphic. Again, it is just a great, great special. Whether you dine in or you pick up, it is the 2 plus for $11.50, so you can order 2 or more at an $11.50 a pop, and that includes cavatelli, Francesca pizza, ravioli, stuffed shells, bone-in wings, large antipasto, or a large pizza. That's 2 or more of each of those 7 that I read: the cavatelli, the Francesca pizza, ravioli, stuffed shells, the bone-in wings, the large antipasto, or a large pizza. 2 or more plus for $11.50 each. As I say every week, it makes that belly feel really full, and reminds you as well about Alta's food truck, which you can find on Facebook at Alta Presents Dante's Inferno, to find the list of where the traveling show will be, so to speak. I mention it every week. I attended Unico a few weeks ago, and again was able to indulge in some of the eats, especially the cannolis that they have on the truck are out of this world. Again, Alta Pizzeria and Pasta House, Popular Street here in Hazleton. Dine in, dine out, or pick up, open till 10 p.m. every Monday through Sunday. Also, quickly, before we get to our On the Bench segment, want to thank our game week sponsor again this week, the Performing Arts Center, PAC, located in the Valley Plaza, Route 93, Sugarloaf in the Cunningham Valley. They tell me if dance were any easier, it'd be called football. Think about that one. It makes sense. Celebrating 30 years of the performing arts, offering preschool dance lessons, ballet, point, jazz, tap, hip hop, modern, and yoga. They have it all there. It is a great business that is 30 plus years down there in the valley. Feel free to give them a call at 570-582-0164. It is early in the dance season, so still taking new students. Again, our good friends, thanks to our game week sponsor, Performing Arts Center, Valley Plaza, Route 93 in Sugarloaf, the Cunningham Valley, 570-582-0164. As we make our way over, it is time for our On the Bench segment. Really excited about this one. We want to quickly thank our sponsor, Spiro's Funeral Service Incorporated, 26 West 2nd Street here in Hazleton. When the time calls for your family needs, please give them a call. Jeff Farrow, the director, Andrew Piskel, the supervisor, two very good friends of mine. Please give them a call, 570-454-1561. Since 1892, Farrow's Funeral Service Incorporated, serving the Hazleton area, 26 West 2nd Street here in Hazleton. And that brings us for me to sit down and you to clip that on yourself, sir. A gentleman I've been reading stuff from a really, really long time and got to know a little bit better before I was even on these sidelines, and had the honor of walking these sidelines as a sideline reporter. Kind of become sideline buddies, maybe over the last 8 years. Please say hello to our On the Bench segment guest. He is a Standard Speaker sports editor, my good friend, Dave Seaman.
Mike, nice to be here.
Sir, thank you so much. All that talk, and you're like, when the heck is he going to get to me, right? But as I do with everybody who comes on, Dave, give us a little history, take us back in the day. Young Dave, aspiring young sports journalist.
Young Dave has been coming to this stadium for a long time. My dad brought me to games back when like my elementary school age days. I'd be coming to football games, and it didn't matter to school. I'd come to Hazleton games.
Absolutely.
I come to West Hazleton games, Freeland games. My dad went to West Hazleton, and it was it was a weekend thing. You come to Hazleton games on a Friday night, and then I followed my brother playing. I helped manage there. I played junior high football here. I moved over to Freeland, so I played a little bit for the Whippets. And West Hazleton game, my dad's an alma, that was his alma mater. So I always rooted for the Wildcats too, and that was no secret. And I enjoyed coming to games with them, and also I'd listen to games on the radio.
The old WAZL
games, and I helped do games with the late Tom Reagan on the radio back at WXBX days back in the late '80s when I was getting my start local sports.
Tommy and Sammy, right?
Tommy and Sammy, the original team. And I helped do stats for them, and then I filled in for Sammy when he was unavailable the one season, so I got some experience there, and I just enjoyed being around the kids, and it's just like it's a community thing, and this is where I grew up, so this is I always had a passion for this area, and I always had a love for sports, and it was just a natural to follow that. Started in news at the Standard Speaker back in 1990, so I'm dating myself there, but
there you go.
A couple years later, I was fortunate enough to get in the sports department, and I just progressed naturally, got to cover a lot of games, not only in the immediate Hazleton area, but in Schuylkill County, Carbon County, the Panther Valleys, the Tamaulipas, the Mono area, Marion, North Schuylkill, and I got to meet a lot of good people and good friends to this day.
I've learned that a lot in 8 years. You do meet really.
That's the best part about it. It's not just the players, and then you follow them through their years, and then when they get out of high school, people that remember, hey, you did my game, or you did that write up on me, and that's always a neat feeling too. And coaches that have passed on to, I got to know them, and they're older now. Some people I'll run into at a game. Hey, you covered my game back in 96.
And they'll remember that specific game too.
Yeah, they'll remember a specific call or something. I remember you wrote that about me, or you meet a relative like a mother or an older mother now. Hey, I still have that article, and again, that's a great feeling, and it's something as I get longer in this career, it just makes you appreciate what you have.
Yeah, like I said, I've enjoyed the last 8 years to have that pleasure. And if we both miss something, we're comfortable enough to go to each other. Hey, did you miss this? Or, what number was that? When we find ourselves as we get older doing it a lot more. So not that it's a creak in the system, but we're just getting older. So Dave, we were talking a little bit earlier. It's, we're 4 games in now. You've been in on almost every one, especially with the changeover now in the regime and such. And a little bit of your thoughts, just where the program has come to this far already. I guess, geez, I told Scott it feels like it's been like 8 or 9 months we're doing this. We're only doing this a couple of weeks, but the prep before, obviously, Scott was hired, Coach Saga was hired in February, and it's just been a journey that's still continuing now here in September and probably way into November and December. And just give us a little bit of a rundown in your mind and thoughts on where they're at now, and we've 4 games in, see where we're at.
Well, it goes so fast. The actual regular season goes so fast that you don't realize how much prep goes into that. Like for like, if you're fortunate enough to get in the playoffs, maybe your season will go 11, 12, maybe 13, 14 if you're really, really good.
Right.
But mostly it's a 10-week season. So you're preparing weeks, months at a time for a 10-week stretch there. So
Sure.
every week is like it's something new. So it's a challenge and it's fun. At this point, Scott's trying to put a stamp on the program now. He has a new staff, new vocabulary, new vernacular for the
Right.
players, and getting to know the players getting to know him. So that takes some time. It doesn't happen overnight. Some coaches are fortunate to step into a situation where, they can just pick up where the last program left off, but that's mostly not the case.
No,
It takes some time.
Everybody's got their own system, their own way.
Yeah, and you're starting with a team like Nazareth, one of the top teams in the Lehigh Valley, with the all-state quarterback and Peyton Falzone. That's a tough challenge, and you have to go out to Williamsport for your first 2 games. Not many coaches get to make that start. And then you come back against West Grant and you show what you're made of. The kids love playing on the home field. They kind of were inspired to play on their home field.
Yeah,
they put in a great
quite
performance.
high.
You're 1-2. You have Berwick coming in here. You could feel a little bit of a buzz last Friday night.
Absolutely.
But then you got reality sets in where Berwick's a very veteran team. They have a veteran offensive line, a running back who was really good when he got that job, when he got moved into that position last year, and he's only better this year. Bigger, stronger, faster.
They're only going to mature as
a second year, and their coaches, Rain and CJ Curry. Mm-hmm. So they were a little bit ahead where the Cougars are right now. And I look at that game on Friday. It's a 7-6 game with the Cougars moving the ball at midfield. It's 4th down. A drop pass, for the Cougars turns into a 57-yard touchdown run by Tymir Wilkerson on the next play. So, yeah, the score is going to look like a little lopsided. The final score, 48 to 6 or 7 looks lopsided, but in reality, middle way through the second quarter, it's still a 7-6 game with the Cougars moving. Coach said that Freddie Corrado had his best game as a passer, and they were moving the ball. But momentum's a funny thing in sports. I mean, you followed sports long enough, once that you lose that edge, it's kind of tough to get back.
I wasn't here. I was out of state at a family affair, and the guys in the truck on the TV side, hey, what's going on, and it was 7-6, and it was a little while, and I'm like, I couldn't get it anywhere. I was in Maryland, so I couldn't get it anywhere else on my phone, but I'm like, wow, they must be really holding them, it must be really close. And then I got a 14-6 score, and then I didn't hear from them a while, and then the score kind of continued to go up a little bit both times, and I'm just like, and Scott and I talked about it a little bit earlier at the end of our first half here in the East End Zone, and I just had wondered to myself, maybe that 60-yarder take the air out of them. And sure enough, now, again, speaking with like the 5th person since I've been down the stadium tonight about it, it just seems like that was kind of, like I said to Coach, it just kind of let the air out of the balloon, so to speak, on them.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And like I said, once you lose that, it's tough to get back too, especially for a young team who's not accustomed to being in this position. And then, things kind of go sideways, and it's like you're kind of like everybody's trying to, get 2 touchdowns back on one play. You have to take your time and, grind away. But, and then sometimes you're spinning your wheels, and then it gets away from you. But it's a learning experience. It's another step in, a direction, and, you put that one away. That's why you start
all over and do it again this week.
Yep.
Every Monday. Dave, it's been a pleasure. I mean, where can we catch you now? I know you're this budding media personality. Daly and the speaker, obviously, right?
In speaker, yeah, a lot of with every sport. I mean,
It's not just football. I
It's
know
not
that
just
with you.
football. It's
Mhm.
the fall season is it's a busy season. I mean,
Like I said, we got held up by the field hockey
field
game
hockey's
tonight.
here. You
Yeah.
got volleyball tonight.
Right.
There's tennis. There's league and district golf tournaments are going to be starting. So we're going to try to follow that all on the standard speaker. It's hard sometimes to get all that together. I just wish readers would be patient, but I think they understand the situation we're in. We're trying to do the best we can.
Yeah, well, quickly too. It's just quickly touching on your profession. I mean, it's changed so much in just the last 5 to 7 years. I mean, and people don't realize that it's just a different ball game now to get the results, to get the stories. It's just a totally different ball game.
Well, especially in this town, our company was bought out by another outfit,
Right,
so we're
right.
we're part of a chain right now. We're
Right.
we're relying on other properties within our chain, regional papers in Pottsville and in Wilkes-Barre and in Scranton, and although we have a good rapport with them, it comes at a cost, which means earlier deadlines, so stories don't appear.
And
in the
paper
next paper.
media is just not as mainstream as it used to be.
No, and
It's
and
a
people,
lot of online, and people just sometimes have a hard time, I think, grasping the
in this
fact.
area especially, because
Mhm.
this area is predominantly a senior citizen area where they're used to being.
Get that paper on my front porch every
I wanna
morning,
see it
and
in
I
the
want to
morning.
know
I
what
wanna-
happened 8 hours ago.
I want that, my coffee or my orange juice with my paper, and
Absolutely.
I want to read about that.
And there's nothing totally wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that, but again, is that the way of the world now?
Nope.
Not necessarily.
Nope.
Do I miss that?
Yes.
Absolutely. But again, I have to understand to adapt. I have to understand what we're all about right now.
And we have to really remember is guys like this are still here adapting to what goes on in the publication / print / online media to bring us what we deserve, what we think we deserve. And it might be a little bit longer than 8 to 10 hours later, but it's guys like this that still keep that standard speaker feel alive.
The community.
You know,
It's all about community. It's names and faces. That's what I was always drilled on. Like you gotta, get those in the paper. As many names and faces,
Oh, absolutely,
people,
yes.
and people love that. I still got, even this morning, I got a call from a grandmother who wanted a picture of one of the Hazel Mary football players that appeared in
That's
our paper,
great.
and that's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, you're making a difference
Makes
for
you feel
somebody.
like $1 million bucks.
Yeah, and it makes you feel like you're making a difference still. So that's heartwarming, and it gives me reason for me doing my job.
Dave, it was so awesome having you. When I
Same
made
here,
the
bud.
call last night, getting back from vacation, I got to Sunday afternoon with my drive home from Maryland. I'm like, I never booked anybody. And I'm like, oh no, what do I do? But Dave came to the aid, and hopefully once we get a little deeper, like I said, we still have, 6, possibly
Lot of season
7,
left.
a lot of
Lot.
season left. So we're going to hope to get Dave back in here. Again, you can catch Dave daily and the standard speaker, available most newsstands, convenience stores, gas stations, such and such, or online.
Online,
Standardspeaker.com.
standardspeaker.com. Those stories go up. You might not read about Friday night's paper in the Saturday morning paper, but rest assured you'll see something in the Saturday morning, or if you want to be up late at night, overnight, you're going to read about that as soon as I can on a Friday night about our Friday night games, because they're
Absolutely.
still important to us.
Dave Seaman, my good friend. Go Phils.
Go Dodgers.
Big series with the Phils and the Dodgers tonight. I can clinch the NL East, but Dave's team, the Dodgers, is holding strong for their own battle, right? For the battle in the West.
It's a battle.
So we go back and forth every time in this year. Usually either one of us is totally out of it, or we're both kind of in it and we have a need to win. So best of luck down the road. I will see you on the sidelines.
Definitely.
I will be at Wilkes-Barre. I will be at our Valley West this week, Wilkes-Barre in 2 weeks, and back home here. We'll see each other on the greens here, so to speak. So big thanks to Dave Seaman. I'm going to give you a high five and a Hazelton handshake and take your mic for coach.
Yep.
There we go. You got to show him old school. Thank you, sir. Dave Seaman. Thanks, guys. Quickly want to remind you as we're making our way back over to coach here. We've been mentioning sponsors all week, all night. You'll hear it again at the end. They're what drives what we do here every Monday night. We do it live. We put it to Facebook. and then highlights on our Instagram, our Facebook, or I'm sorry, at YouTube Live, at the localsportspod.com, or at the local sports pod, immediately on Facebook, and highlights on IG, Instagram, the local sports pod. They're what drives it. So if you're still looking for that little bit of push as the fall rolls in, no matter what you do, just that little extra push. We still have some partial season. There's plenty of games coming up. I believe only one of those games are filled. So we're looking to fill a few others, plus some small few options as well. Feel free to give us a call, 570-778-5942, or PM us on Facebook, The Local Sports Pod. So Coach is coming back in here. We'll get you mic'd up. Dave, we could have went on with for hours. You're never going to get home. Your
That's
wife's
all right.
going to kill me. But that could be a good thing for you, though.
So I will say we're going to have to move quickly because I was told while we were doing that, the lights are automatically going to go off at 9:30. So
Oh,
it depends
wow.
on
We don't
how
have a whole
fast-
lot of time. Maybe we ought to run down the
how
field.
fast we're going to get down the field.
So as we leave the east end zone and head west again, Coach, next game this Friday, 7:05, up at the house of the Spartans, Wyoming Valley West. Tell us what you know. Tell us, obviously, we know where the team is headed, but preparation-wise and such.
So it's a good thing about a football season. You get Monday comes around and it's prepare for a new team and a new week, and you could erase that dirty taste out of your mouth from Friday night. We go travel up to Valley West and get a big win this week. Valley West is definitely it was always a tough team when we played. When I played, they were always our bitter rival, Valley West. So, Valley West is hungry. Still haven't gotten a win yet this year. They're seeing us limping in after, getting beat last week, and they're going to give us everything that they got. They think that what a better opportunity to knock Hazleton off than watching us limp in after a rough game last week. But we got to make sure that we turn it on and do what we're capable of doing. They could throw the ball, they could fling the ball around, which is it's going to be a good test for us because we said that's been one of our strong suits is our pass defense. So we're excited. We just have to play our game. We just have to play our game and do what we know we're capable of doing, and get through Friday night and hopefully end it with a win and just start climbing that ladder again.
Yeah, 2 and 3, it looks a lot better than 1 and 4 as well. And I'm sure you're stressing that through.
Yep.
With tonight being filmed.
And
such.
we're in a conference game now.
Right.
We're
my thoughts exactly where I was about to go.
So, yeah, it's a big game. It's a big game. It's the midway point in the season.
Absolutely.
And we kind of said that to our kids tonight. What you need to decide what you want this season to look like. Do you want to throw it away in the garbage, or are we going to start climbing that ladder again and be able to climb ourselves out here?
Coach, any players of note carrying on the Spartan side of the ball?
So yeah, I mean their quarterback. I'm not really sure. I could name the numbers all.
I'm sure by film.
Yeah, by the film. It's hard because sometimes like rosters aren't filled out or different different things. But I could give you numbers. They definitely their running back number 6 is good. Wide receiver number 4, quarterback's number 9. They're all very good players. Just seeing what they've been doing. We had a film on them earlier in the year. They played Williamsport first, so we had a film on that on them when they played Williamsport, and they gave Williamsport a test. I mean,
I remember I was in when we were getting ready for Williamsport. I remember coming in at the end of the film.
They passed.
It was almost to the end of the game. I think
they passed for 330 yards against Williamsport. So. They could throw the ball around, they could move the ball around. But again, it just comes down to us playing our game. It's another week where we could beat ourselves.
Right.
And, let a team hang around. But we need to play our game and do what we know that we're capable of doing. And I think our kids are going to be hungry. they're going to have a little chip on their shoulder after what happened to us this last week.
Yeah, some inner anger is going to come out. I have a funny feeling.
Yeah.
So again, by the way, the boys are coming out of the den this evening. They're
Yeah.
fired up, but they're angry.
Well, because we told them we go from a week where we win 40-0 and we're on top of the world, and then we go into a game Friday night and we're not doing our assignments. We're not blocking till the whistle. We're not gang tackling. We kind of took 2 steps back. It was like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And we need to make sure that every step that we're taking, you're improving. You're not stepping back and making the same mistakes that you made earlier in the season.
Right.
You need to improve on them.
Yep. This is week 5, not week 2. Right.
Correct.
I mean, it's time to put all those pieces of the puzzle that were out of place. So maybe weeks 1 and weeks 2, and start to kind of fit them together now and say, oh, I should have went right when I should have went left. It's almost a no excuse situation.
Yeah.
I mean, you should know your game.
Yep.
Want to remind you, Cougars are on the road this week. Again, as we mentioned, 7:05 Friday night, up at Wyoming Valley West. If you can't make your way up there, there is another way to catch the Cougars, and all season long when they're on the road. Our good friends Paul Bowe, Rich Zalonis, Brian Borky, and I'm proud to say myself, hopefully, if things work out technically, will be a part of this road crew for the rest of the season. You can catch the internet audio cast this Friday night, starting at 6:45 with a pregame show, and then right into kickoff at 7:05. All brought to you in part with SportsWire. Our good friend Paul Bowe, if you check out his Facebook, somewhere between Thursday morning and Friday morning, you will be able to pick up that link, click on it, and pick up on the broadcast on Friday night. Again, SportsWire has all the Cougars away games this season, including Friday nights at Wyoming Valley West. I joined Paul Ball, Rich Zalonis, Brian Borky, and a new kid on the block, yours truly. Hopefully, if technicals work out, we will be live at 6:45 with the pregame, 7:05 kickoff. Again, Hazleton, Wyoming Valley West. Reminds you and quickly thank you so the lights don't go out on us. That would be really scary because when we're all here by ourselves and Scott has control, because he's the man with the lights, it's all good. But I've never left this place in the dark. Special quick thanks to our sponsors. Again, our season sponsors, RL Marchetti Plumbing and Heating, and Alta Pizzeria and Pasta House. Dante's Inferno Food Truck, Facebook, Alta presents Dante's Inferno. Be sure to check out their schedule. Also want to thank the Performing Arts Center, Sugarloaf in the Cunningham Valley, again, is our game week sponsor. Also thanks to Barbush Automotive, BLB Auto Sales, as always, our season player of the game sponsor. And of course, are on the bench. Again, thanks to Dave Seaman, our special guest tonight. Firo's Funeral Service Incorporated here in Hazleton. Want to quickly remind you, I will also be live with the pregame and postgame reports live on our YouTube channel at the local sports pod. 6:15 with pregame and 10 to 15 minutes following when the clock hits zeros. Again, thanks to my good friend, the coach. Best of luck to our Cougars this week. I think it's about time we got one back. So for my producer, Kelly, coach, the rest of it, thanks to the Hazleton Area School District as well. We don't want to go blackout, so we're going to black out on you. Mike Sosa signing out. Let's go Cougars.